And I think Mr. Anderson and Mr. Chase have given everyone a pretty good history of this, and I hope the public understands it. I was probably one of the most vocal critics of the 2000 agreement that a prior council signed. That agreement was a 4-page agreement with a blank lease attached to it, and when it came to my attention, it concerned me a great deal for a variety of reasons. For example, it was revenue neutral. Every time there was a cost of living increase to the ground rent, that was an equal and opposite offset in the percentage rent, so that basically there was never going to be any cost of living increase to this lease. I was very concerned with the size of the leasehold. It was over an acre down there, and the Pier Group was actually negotiating to expand that leasehold to include the property upon which we actually built the pavilion, and that's already been built now. There was nothing in there that would control the size of the improvements. There was nothing to control, for example, the seating capacity. All of these things have now been addressed in this particular revised and restated lease agreement. We know that, yes, it is a 30-year lease with 2 5-year extensions, but even in the 2000 agreement, it was a 30-year lease with 2 5-year extensions, so that stayed the same. As a matter of fact, in 2000, when the council approved that lease, they reduced it from a 40-year lease with 2 5-year extensions to a 30-year lease. So they were concerned with that at the time as well. The revenue neutral provisions have been eliminated from this lease. We do have a seating capacity of 350 to 400, which I'm assured can be regulated through fire code regulations and that sort of thing. It's very important to note that this lease provides, for example, that if the fishing pier fees are ever reinstated, they will have responsibility for collecting those and supervising that. They have maintenance of the parking lot and the landscaping requirements in the area. And the size of the leasehold has actually been reduced down to more than an acre to, I think, something in the area of 37,000 plus square feet at this time. My concerns at the time were that, this portion of the City of Venice is one of the most pristine beachfront areas that exist in Southwest Florida today. And I was concerned that how much commercial activity could that area withstand. The city has invested a tremendous amount of money down there. We built the pavilion, we built dune walkovers, rebuilt the fishing pier, completed the first beach renourishment in that area, constructed almost 400 parking places down there, and there's absolutely no doubt that the restaurant down there is a real asset to the city. It's a boost to our economy. It enhances the quality of life here in Venice. So I, for one, am now in favor of this agreement, and I would urge my colleagues to vote for it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Lang.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to say that I was very pleased that the agreement reduces the number of seats from 600 that was talked about previously in the old agreement or the previous agreement down to 400. That was a really big issue with the community. I think one of the biggest issues, and I've had discussions with Mr. Pachota, Mr. Novak about that in the past. This is not something new. This has been under discussion for probably 4 years now. So I'm very pleased about that. And I think, everyone in the community likes Sharkies and supports Sharkies, and it was just that people had concerns for the future, most especially with such a long-term lease. If the business does sell, are we going to have the same type of restaurant and entertainment that we've all enjoyed and appreciate, because things can change when businesses change hands. At this point, the only other thing I want to say is I just want to make it clear that my support of this lease under these conditions and under where we are at today It is not a condonement of some of the specific clauses in this lease. If this were a brand-new lease being brought to us by staff, I would not be happy with the assignability clause, the term, the use of CPI, many things that we've gone over and we've talked to staff about in the past. But given where we are now, and like I said, I'm very happy that Sharky's has gone from the 600 seats down to the 400 seats, which I think will keep the restaurant a good neighbor in our community.